Good evening and welcome to the Sunday edition of Big Talk on Global TV. Don't forget we are live on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276. How are you? I hope you're doing very well. This Sunday we have lots of interesting political topics as we look at the politics of Nigeria and how to actually make this country better. My name is Ubon Musoro and I'm your host for tonight. Let's start. Within the week, I went on the streets of Abuja and asked viewers and asked citizens of Abuja what they think about the new party, the ADC, which coalition has actually picked as the vehicle for 2027 to challenge the ruling APC. Let's listen to what some Nigerians had to say.
Nigeria's political history is filled with dramatic power shifts, from the dominance of the PDP for 16 years to the emergence of the APC in 2015. Now eyes are on whether another shift is coming. In July 2025, opposition heavyweights including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party's Peter Obi, former Senate President David Mark, and former governors Ralph Arabiola and Rotimi Amechi united under the ADC platform. The coalition chose ADC as its vehicle to challenge APC's grip on power in 2027, citing the need to prevent one-party dominance and to present a united front. David Mark now serves as interim national chairman, while Arabiola as interim secretary. Founded in 2005, the ADC had previously maintained a modest presence in national politics, but this recent coalition has breathed new life into the party, turning it into a centerpiece of opposition strategy ahead of the next elections.
It's not possible for them to unseat the sitting government. What are the reasons? This is a government, the candidate, which before now, he was not in the system like being in the government, but he find his way to become the sitting president. So you know, there is a way the Nigerian politics work. It is not possible you just come and unseat a sitting president.
Observers say the move mirrors the 2015 alliance that brought APC to power. The question is, can history repeat itself?
I don't think they will be able to win APC, because when a man who has not been in the seat can be able to win and come over, now that he's sitting, I don't think they will win him, because he has every power to put everything in place as soon as it concerns his growth in the office.
If they do the right thing, I believe they will collect it. What is there that they're supposed to zone it, the place supposed to be, that is south. It's turn of south. It's 8 years. So if they zone it to the south, understand, let's assume that they give it to the south, south will run for it. But if we go to north, definitely they will lose it.
As preparations for 2027 intensify, the real battle may be between the old guards and a united opposition seeking to disrupt the status quo. Ubon Usoro for Global TV.
Alright, so Nigerians have different thoughts about the new coalition, the ADC, and even to actually be a vehicle that will serve its purpose of those coaliting, those going into this union, which is to depose the ruling APC in 2027. Also, like I do every day on the show, I actually went on social media to check what some Nigerians are saying about some trending political topics on social media, and let's actually get to see what Nigerians are saying. The first topic, first story I tracked for you tonight on social media, it's about Dele Momodu, who has actually resigned his membership of the PDP. It says Arie Dele Momodu, written 17th of July 2025. It says the chairman, PDP Ward 4, in Edo State, dear sir, resignation as a member of the PDP. I wish to inform you of my decision to resign from your political party, PDP, with immediate effect. My reason is simple and straightforward. The party has been unarguably hijacked by anti-democratic forces from within and outside in a broad daylight. It is therefore honorable to abandon the carcass of the party to them, with the majority of us earnestly signed up with the new the new coalition party known as the African Democratic Congress, ADC. I will forever treasure the kind support you gave me at all times. Thank you, and yours sincerely. Let's see what Nigerians think about the resignation of Dele Momodu as a member of the PDP heading to the ADC. Oga Dare Oguntwase says Oga Dele Momodu has no political value or relevance. No one will miss him in PDP, and his new party won't see any relevance in him. All right, let's move ahead. Falodu Samuel says, finally, Wike eventually sent all of you packing from the home. Wike is the winner. Any other? All right, Samuel Babatunde, King Remy says, with all these types of resignation, Nigeria is now passing through a political comedy phase. We also have another story, the second story we have for you tonight that we're tracking. Onyinye Emeka says someone is calm now. I think that will come later. We also have a story that we're tracking for you. The governor of we saw the governor of Delta State issuing warning to Peter Obi and telling Peter Obi to follow protocol. The governor actually, people from the governor actually came out to talk about what they meant, when the governor was making that speech in Delta, which has actually gone haywire on social media. And it says the governor was talking about protocol. But let's see the story, and let's see what Nigerians think about that particular story. All right, so he says it's on the Punch newspaper. It says Okpebholu's warning to Peter Obi not threat, says Edo government. The Edo State government on Sunday said the governor on Monday Okpebholu's warning to the Labour Party's presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, should get security clearance before coming to the state and should not be misconstrued as a threat. Okay, let's see what Nigerians think about what the governor of Delta State says. Onyinye Emeka says someone is calm now. They must have explained to him the implications. All right. Okay. Penny Chris says no need to explain further. Nigerians have heard it all already. Okay. There's also a letter on social media that's trending, a big story that says that the governor of Delta State should withdraw the threat he made against Peter Obi. Let's look at the story. Okay, it says withdraw threats, apologize to Obi. Falana tells Okpebholu, senior advocate of Nigeria, is saying the governor of Delta State should offer an apology to Peter Obi. Suprechi Ugu says simple. All right, just simple. Go ahead and do it. Fred Perry says withdraw what? Obi always build his fake attention on every issue happening in Nigeria. If now Bangladesh, if they do this kind of, that's his opinion there, Fred Perry. We're also tracking another story. The University of Maiduguri has been renamed after the former late president of Nigeria. It says University of Maiduguri alumni students reject renaming institution after Buhari. All right, let's move over and see the reaction. Someone said they should rename Unilag. Joe saying they should rename Unilag after Buhari instead. After all, Buhari's contribution to Lagos and the University of Lagos Tower high. All right, so saying instead of University of Maiduguri, Unimed, it should be Unilag that should be renamed after Buhari. Okay, Sated says all these protests from academians, particularly from the above-mentioned Unimed alumni and its students, shows that there was no proper consultation before taking decision to renaming it. Tinubu and his handler sees everything as an opportunity to play politics. That's his opinion. All right, one more. I will take one more story. So Rashid says it is old-fashioned renaming a university after a dead man. The government can look for other monuments to rename. Monuments to remember perceived heroes. That's what Rashid is thinking on that particular story. Another story that we're tracking for you tonight, it's about Ekiti APC. All right, it says Ekiti APC dismisses Fayemi's rumored defection plan. So the All Progressive Congress in Ekiti State has dismissed claims that former Governor Kayode Fayemi is plotting to destabilize the party or lure members away through a secret stakeholders meeting. Let's look at what some Nigerians think. It says Ajaye Olumo BJ says Fayemi is about to commit a political suicide. That's his thoughts. Let's see any other Nigerian said something about that. Alright, so Bolaji Tunde says let's hear from the horse's mouth. Alright, so those are the stories that we're able to track for you tonight on Sunday edition of Big Talk. So today we have public affairs analyst that will be joining us from Lagos via Zoom to help us make sense of the discussion that we have. The coalition, what are the implications and what matters? Does it really matter? So we're going to be having Opeyemi Uju, who will be joining us from Lagos to help us make sense. Mr. Opeyemi, a very good evening to you.
Good evening, Mr. Oban.
Alright, so thank you for joining us on Global TV, DSTV channels 365 and Star Times channels 276 on Big Talk tonight. How are you? How's Lagos tonight?
Very fine, thank you. Lagos is cool and calm. Good evening, Nigerians.
Alright, so let's start the discussion. The coalition, it seems a repeat of what we saw happen in 2014 is about to happen. Where we have the coming together of the new PDP at the time. We had the ACN, we had CPC, and we had some part of ABGA coming together to form the All Progressive Congress. And we saw them in 2015 going ahead to win the presidential election, even when many people did not give them a chance. And now we have the ADC, the African Democratic Congress, previously unknown. But now becomes the bride. I just read the letter that's trending on social media. I read Dele Momodu is already resigning and is very straightforward. Is going into the ADC. We've seen former Vice President Atiku Abubakar resigning, and there are some insinuations that we could be seeing some governors joining the ADC. What do you think about the coalition?
Well, I honestly think, in my opinion, that the coalition is coming together to kind of give more power to the APC. And how do I mean? The coalition that happened in 2015 was a coming together of other political parties that were already in existence in their own rights and strong in their various regions. In this instance, it's a coming together of individuals that are disgruntled and that have fallen out of, some of them, not all, that have fallen out of friendship and out of whatever it was they had with the APC. And so if you look at it critically and if you want to analyze it objectively, I think that the coalition, the ADC, is going to make the APC more stronger. The coalition, are they going to be able to step down their individualistic interests? Don't forget, politics is strictly about power play and share, who gets what, when, and how. And everybody that is coming in, Rotimi Amici, El Rufai, Rauf Aregbesola, Atiku Abubakar, where for the exception of Atiku Abubakar, were all power players in the APC. And Rotimi Amici, after losing out of the presidential bid after the convention, has distanced himself from the APC. Nasir El-Rufai, even before that period, there was already a rift with Aregbesola and his principal, his friend, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, for the love of me, I honestly wish that it will have been a different scenario of a coalition and not what the present setup is. The present setup does not look like a movement that will stand the test of time. Already there are some infightings about who is going to be the flag bearer and all of those kind of manipulations around who will come from what zone and where they are going to zone their presidential flag bearer to and all of that. So it's just going to allow the APC get more stronger and maybe get more followership. Maybe more governors, will see more governors that hitherto were in PDP, leave the PDP and go into the APC. My take.
Okay, of course, we know, like you actually said something about that the coalition is going to give more power to the APC. But let's look at the personalities of those involved. At least 5 of them. David Bonaventure Mark, former Senate President of Nigeria, and we know the longest serving Senate President in Nigeria's history. We know his antecedents, right? David Mark. We have Aregbesola, former governor of Osun State, and we know how he was governor and the things he did, right? And a former commissioner in Lagos State. We have people like Rotimi Amechi, right, former governor of Rivers State, former speaker in Rivers State, and a former transport minister, right? We also have Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former vice president of Nigeria. So looking at and there's a Peter Obi in the picture. All right, and we know Peter Obi got 6 million votes in the last election. Don't you think that these people are tested and trusted? Atiku has done, at least Atiku could bring 7 million votes to the table easily, and he's done this across board. We've seen him do it again. If Peter Obi brings 6 million votes, don't you think this will actually give the ruling party at this time some sleepless nights?
The ruling party also will be aware of the political atmosphere in Nigeria. And I feel the ruling party will also take advantage somewhat of this coalition. And in them taking advantage will mean that, for instance, the big wigs that you've mentioned, I read some time back in the papers and in the media that already, there was an issuance from David Mark about nobody automatically getting some positions or some slots, as it were. And yes, you've correctly stated the antecedents and the track records politically of some of the key players that have now joined the ADC. These stalwarts that have joined the ADC, are they able to immediately draw their members, their supporters into this fold? It is one thing to have, that political clout, and the people are also not as gullible as they were before in the affairs of politics. And when you have a track record of, because of your personal interest above party interest, jumping ship serially, in this case, political parties, there is a problem in itself. I hope and I pray that the ADC is able to, if it does, get itself properly Because yes, the political system needs formidable opposition.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yes, so that there is a balance of play. If they do get it right, it will be better for the country and for the system, as it were. But because we know Nigeria, and because again in this present period there are more enlightenment, there are more inclusive.
All right, so you've been talking about Nigeria as being more enlightened. Mr. Opeyemi, you've been talking about Nigeria as being more enlightened. Let's look at some of the issues that this current government campaigned with. The campaign issues like resetting the country. Well, we've had electricity tariff being taken away. Nigerians now pay more as regards electricity. For instance, 1 kilowatt of electricity, there was a time you could get 1 kilowatt for about 200 naira, and now some Nigerians are getting it for about maybe 800, 1,000 and thereabout, depending on the band that you are. And now we have subsidy. Before this administration came into power, people could buy petrol products for 400, 450, 500, and it came into power. Nigerians had to, because subsidy was removed. And these are things that those in rural communities may not understand the dynamics of economics of explanation and economics of let's do away with subsidy. They just want to see things cheap, because the average Nigerians seem to be suffering at this time. So how will the economic indices of Nigeria at this time will it be against or will it be for the progress or the propagation of the coalition? Because of course, politicians, they want to use it.
Yes, vis-a-vis what you said, honestly, the political indices and the political happenings as of now, definitely, if used in any political setting or campaigns, will greatly devastate the face, image, and whatever it is that the APC represents. We are Nigerians, and in our analysis and in our projections, we must be realistic. The indices are bad. The economy is biting, and as you've rightly said, power is on the high, gas is on the high. The removal of subsidy, yes, was done, and every other political aspirant had campaigned on the actualization of or had campaigned on the premise of wanting to remove fuel subsidy. It has been removed. Was it done rightly? Were the modalities in place before its removal? I don't think so. Again, policies are what drives the society and state. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies, some of them, like the removal of subsidy, has allowed for more funds to go to states generally, and some governors have begun to utilize this. Some, not all, have begun to utilize this more allocation of funds to do some other things, infrastructure, healthcare, but by and large, trickling down to the average man or to the peoples in the rural communities, not so much. Yes, and that can be a stumbling block for the APC. However, it depends on the strategies of campaign of the APC. It also depends on the strategies of campaign of the ADC. What are their blueprints? What are their manifestos? And what are they going to campaign upon? Are they going to bring back fuel to a reduced amount? Do they have strategies, plans, and actions that will make this possible? In reality, will it be something that is achievable? If yes, the best man will win.
All right. So another question that observers are asking at this time is, it seems the coalition is a conglomeration of politicians that wants to run for president. We have Peter Obi, who has said he's not going to be vice for anybody. Obviously, if he's going to be interested in 2027, he would like to run as a candidate of a political party. We have an Alhaji Atiku Abubakar who's already been vice president, which we know may not likely, he would have loved to be president. It seems it's been his lifelong ambition. We have an El Rufai who may also want to be president, and we have an Amechi, right, who we know contested the APC primaries and at one point was touted as the son that is being supported by the North. So we have all of this. Do you think that the political leaders in the coalition will be able to lay aside their personal interests and come together and support one party, or do you see an implosion of the coalition because of the big wigs that may not be able to lay aside their political interest aside?
And also, Mr. Obongan, thank you for that input you just brought about. Honestly, I fear that there might be an implosion in the ADC. The names that you have mentioned, from their body language, it is clear that each and every one of these persons wants to go for the topmost position, which is to become the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'll use two of them. Vice President Atiku Abubakar and Mr. Peter Obi. I do not think two of them, I do not see any of them stepping down for the other in the pursuit of their political ambition of becoming president. Already, we are getting feelers already that Mr. Peter is being wooed back to the PDP. Mr. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has resigned from the PDP. A block of supporters, if Peter Obi leaves the coalition suffers a bit already. If he stays, are they able to seamlessly agree? I'm not sure. So yes, the big wigs, and because of their presidential ambition, might even be a problem in the ADC before its proper takeoff. And where does that leave the APC? It's just is going to be more like giving them all that they need with already what they have. So it's a dicey situation. It really is a dicey situation for now.
Still has 2 years to do power. They have 2 years to look at its policies, try to rebrand itself. What do you think they can do, and using this period of 2 years to get mass appeal? Because it appears they've lost some level of mass appeal. Also, some people have said that the president has been more active since the coalition came. We saw him in Daura. We saw him, going to Kanu the other time. So he's been very active, very on the road. Do you think that this coalition is making the government to sit up, and maybe we may see improved or more decentralization of the benefits of democracy to Nigerian citizens in the next 2 years?
I hope it does. I hope it does. The president in the last 2 weeks has been very active, as you rightly said, and the APC has been more vocal and responsive to criticisms and
all right.
the feel.
Okay, so Yeah, Mr. Ojo, please, we'll come back to you. Let's go for a short break now. And when we're back, this is the big talk. We'll still have Mr. Opeyemi Ojo, who's a public affairs analyst, joining us from Lagos to help us make sense of our discussion. Don't go nowhere. My name is Ubong Osoro, and we'll be back with the discussion. All right, so we are discussing with Mr. Opeyemi Ojo, who is a public affairs analyst, helping us to make sense of our discussion tonight on Big Talk. And tonight we're looking at the coalition impact and implication. What are the impacts it has on Nigeria? And we have Mr. Ojo live from Lagos joining us on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276 to help us make sense of this discussion as Nigerians try to understand, is it a political ritual? Mr. Ojo, just before you conclude your thoughts, let me add this second leg of the question. I'll refresh your mind. I'm asking, are we going to see the APC do better in the next 2 years because of the coming of the coalition as they try to win elections? That's one. And number two, is it a recurring thing that now in Nigeria we may be having more coalition, or do we need, because it seems we need coalitions to challenge ruling parties, do we stop registering more parties and maybe reduce the number of political parties we have to maybe about 3 or 4 or 5, so we could have political parties that could actually challenge ruling parties and not come into coalitions before? Because if these political parties come to coalition, why were they existing in the first place? So do you see, that's the second leg of the question I'm asking you. First leg is, are we going to see the APC do better in the next 2 years because of the coalition? Number two, do you think we didn't even need a coalition if we had maybe just 2-3 political parties in Nigeria?
Let me take the first question. Yes, I hold the opinion that the APC will come stronger and improve upon its existing policies to better the lot of the Nigerian people and let them have a feel and sense of proper governance. The coalition is already making the APC a bit jittery, even though they do not want to admit so. Yes, the APC is going to be more on its toes in the areas of deliverance, of governance, and in the areas of making the people feel. I think there should be a heightened security arrangement and architecture. I think there should be more intelligence gathering to forestall occurrences that we've had in the recent days in Plateau, in Benue, and in other pockets and areas of the Nigerian space. Yes, for the coalition coming together and then having parties collapse into coalitions, I think if we have parties that are based and bordered on ideological principles, we will not see all of the happenings of coalitions, especially towards the eve of elections. If we have parties that were rooted and grounded just for the fundamental reasons why they were in place, and they stand and continue with those ideologies, then I do not think that it will be necessary for coalitions coming up and springing up when you have 2 years or 1 year to an election. What this coalition has done, in essence, has further reduced the strength of perceived strong opposition parties like the PDP. The PDP will have been a viable, strong political party that has been in inception from 1999, and because they are not, in my view, as disciplined as they should be, with their party members that have erred and that have brought disrespect to the party, they have suffered what they are suffering. If these members that were not so principled in party ideologies are jumping ship to another party, are they going to go there and become what they were in their former parties? And will this party also stand and survive the test of time? I think the answer is as good as the answer is no. So yes, if we have parties that are grounded on ideologies and they stand by their ideologies, we will not have a situation where it becomes necessary for coalitions and mergers to become the norm of the day just when we have elections by the corner.
Welcome back, people. This is still Big Talk on Global TV, and we're having a discussion about the coalition. What is the impact of the coalition, the ADC, African Democratic Congress, which has become a vehicle for prominent Nigerian politicians who want to dispose the ruling All Progressive Congress come 2027. What are the pacts that have? What impact is it going to have on the politics of 2027? And we have Mr. Opeyemi Ojo, who's a public affairs analyst, joining us from Lagos. Mr. Opeyemi, as we conclude our thoughts for tonight, are you with me, Mr. Opeyemi? All right, so I think we lost him. Yeah. Okay, so I did a report earlier where I went to ask Nigerians what do they think about the ADC, and are they going to support the ADC? Is the ADC going to dispose the APC in 2027? Let's listen to that report.
Nigeria's political history is filled with dramatic power shifts, from the dominance of the PDP for 16 years to the emergence of the APC in 2015. Now eyes are on whether another shift is coming. In July 2025, opposition heavyweights, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party's Peter Obi, former Senate President David Mark, and former governors Ralph Arabiola and Rotimi Amechi, united under the ADC platform. The coalition chose ADC as its vehicle to challenge APC's grip on power in 2027, citing the need to prevent one-party dominance and to present a united front. David Mark now serves as interim national chairman, while Arabiola as interim secretary. Founded in 2005, the ADC had previously maintained a modest presence in national politics, but this recent coalition has breathed new life into the party, turning it into a centerpiece of opposition strategy ahead of the next elections.
It's not possible for them to unseat the sitting government. What are the reasons? This is a government, the candidate, which before now, he was not in the system like being in the government, but he find his way to become the sitting president. So you know, there is a way the Nigerian politics work. It is not possible you just come and unseat a sitting president.
Observers say the move mirrors the 2015 alliance that brought APC to power. The question is, can history repeat itself?
I don't think they will be able to win APC, because when a man who has not been in the seat can be able to win and come over, now that he's sitting, I don't think they will win him, because he has every power to put everything in place as soon as it concerns his growth in the office.
If they do the right thing, I believe they will collect it. What is there that they're supposed to zone it, the place supposed to be, that is south. It's turn of south. It's 8 years. So if they zone it to the south, understand, let's assume that they give it to the south, south will run for it. But if we go to north, definitely they will lose it.
As preparations for 2027 intensify, the real battle may be between the old guards and a united opposition seeking to disrupt the status quo. Ubong Usoro for Global TV.
Welcome back, people. This is The Big Talk, a political program where we explore what happens in the politics of Nigeria and try to help Nigerians make better decisions. My name is Ubong and I'm your host tonight. We've been talking to Okpeyemi Ojo, a public affairs analyst from Lagos, who joined us via Zoom before we had some technical issues. And, just a quick rundown. The ADC, as a party, was formed in 2005. And before 2 months ago, it wasn't really popular in the setting of Nigerian politics. We've not really had ADC as a forerunner in the political equation of Nigeria, but with the coming in of political heavyweights, politicians who are opposed to the leadership style of the ruling All Progressive Congress, the ADC is now in major conversation. Is Nigeria ready for a third force? Is Nigeria ready for a strong opposition? Because some Nigerians are of the opinion that yes, the ADC may not have the same capacity like the APC had in 2014, because the some dynamics are almost the same as Nigerians are talking about the politics of 2027. All right, so I was trying to help you make informed decision, and we're having analysts talk to us about what they think is the solution and what the APC can actually do, or what the ADC can do as well to attract Nigerians. All right, so we have a public affairs analyst also joining us, Mr. Jimmy Jackson, who is a political commentator, is joining us from Cross River State. Mr. Jimmy, a very good evening to you.
Yes, good evening to you, Ubong, and good evening.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on Global TV, DSTV 365 and Star Times 276. Straight to the question. What are the implications of this coalition in the Nigerian political scene?
Well, the implication is a little complex, because if you look at how things are currently shaping up the political face in Nigeria, the results for the polls, because the people who have actually been on the scene for quite some time now. So it's going to be very difficult for the options for Nigerians or the masses or the electorates to actually choose from whoever the coalition would actually finally want to settle for the upcoming election. So it's actually a very complex one, and if you ask me, I think until the coalition would actually maybe sit down in the round table and decide that whoever they are going to front would be different from the already known names in the Nigerian politics, else the options would be very, very limited for those who are actually looking for a new narrative or a new perspective in governance, and also in the Nigerian democracy dispensation. All
right, Mr. Jimmy, do you think that a coalition is able to come together to present a united front, as we saw the APC do in 2024? Even though we had a lot of people who wanted to be president in 2014, but when once Buhari won the primary, you saw everybody come back to support him. Do you think an El Rufai, an Amechi, an Atiku Abubakar, and maybe a Peter will be joining later, if an Atiku, for instance, a major presidential candidate, do you think a Peter Obi will support an Atiku Abubakar in the coalition?
Well, I think
hello, Jimmy, can you hear me?
The major challenge who they want to front. Yes, I can hear you.
Right, go ahead.
Yes, so I'm saying that the challenge would be that the coalition will have it very difficult, because right now 2027 the ticket or the slot is still for the South. So they have to look at somebody that will be able to match.
You said the slot is still for the South. Who wrote it down that the slot is for the South?
Well, looking at the Nigerian implementation and how it has been, it was altered when Jonathan came into power due to the death of the former president. So right now, the current president, that's President Tinubu, is of the South. And it is believed, especially looking at the political space, that literally someone who has been elected should stay for 8 years. And now we are looking at 4 years running. And what will happen? And you have heard, if the coalition wants to front Peter Obi has already said that, he would accept a 4-year term. But can we really trust politicians when they make these statements? That's another case for another day. But now,
quickly, sorry, some people are saying Peter Obi could be a vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar. What do you think about that?
Well, if he would want to concede to that, he contested on the platform of Labour Party in the last presidential elections in 2023. Will he want to go and become a running mate again to Atiku Abubakar? Remember, he did that in 2019, and that still didn't come to fusion. So the main aim of the coalition is to see how to wrestle power with the current government.
All right,
and
so
maybe get into power.
Let me ask you two questions in 1 minute so that we end the show. One, do we always need a coalition when we have more than 100 political parties in Nigeria already? Or should we not just do 5 political parties that are strong enough to challenge each other? One question. And number two, do you think the coalition, the last question now, will be able to motivate or help the ruling All Progressive Congress in the next 2 years do better as regards governance of Nigeria?
Yes, quickly, the first one is that coalition is needed because you need the political big wings who have been in the political phase for a very long time to gather their supporters to help fight, the incumbent in power. Secondly, looking at the coalition, their aim right now is how they can get into governance. So we're looking at opposition. PDP should have given APC the strong position we wanted, or even the Labour Party. But we have seen the crisis, embroiling these two parties. And right now, the coalition, if they are not careful, definitely they will toe that line. So it's going to be very difficult, but only time will tell. The only thing that will help the coalition is if they front a candidate that will be able to give the APC sleepless nights.